Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is CHOO and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. So in a previous video, I don't know whether the person is a viewer or just a subscriber, the person was like, I'm so hard to understand my accent. I didn't respond to that, that is a question or statement. I didn't respond to that, and I think in my last video or the previous one before that, someone else also said something like you are so hard to understand, your accent, so if you could slow down when you are talking so that some of us could understand you, because I enjoy your content, blah blah. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to respond to this person because I like the way the person explained himself. I believe it's a gentleman. I'll find him and give him a shout out somewhere here. I really appreciate when people criticize you, but in a constructive way. The way he said, he was like, yes, you are quite hard to understand because of your accent, but if you could slow down and I could follow, I would really appreciate that. And I'm like, that is how you give constructive criticism, so I appreciate you, but I will slow down. However, my accent is not going to change. That is how I talk. That is the accent I was brought up with, born and bred in Ghana for the past 38 years. There's no way it's going to change. I can't pretend to have any other different accent. This is how I speak, so I would slow down when I'm talking so that those of my audience or people who enjoy my content, who do not really follow this accent, will be able to follow me. So that is just by the way. In today's video, I'm going to highlight the notes of caramel. It looks like everybody is doing caramel, from the niche to the designer to the Middle Eastern, the deep houses, because it trickles down to the niche, the Middle Eastern houses. And I'm loving caramel. I love, in as much as I love to ingest my caramel, I also love it as a perfume on myself. And today, for example, I'm having Milo here, and my sweetener of choice was caramel syrup. I love caramel syrup in my beverages as well as on my ice cream. I guess, spread it on my ice cream and add a pinch of salt to it. Let me just go with 10 affordable, amazing caramel fragrances. Some of these are quite dominant when it comes to the caramel, whilst others are sort of playing supporting roles. Am I slowing down? Let me just remind myself. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is going to be shuyukh Gold by Lattafa. And I also write every single fragrance I list here. I will write them in the description so you can check them out if you don't get my pronunciation. So this is shuyukh Gold by Lattafa. It is known to be this very ambery vanilla with the sort of suede or leather accord in it, quite smoky, quite intricate. It's not a simple fragrance at all. However, it has a very prominent or dominant note of caramel. It is not the most it's not the most noticeable note as soon as you spray shuyukh Gold. However, when you wait for the dry down of this, or even before the dry down, it progresses. The caramel in this one progresses. It's like a little faint, and as it begins to dry down, it gets much more intense, much more better. To me, it is not your leading role caramel fragrance. However, if you're looking for a caramel dominant fragrance with an intricate sort of mix with some leather accord, some suede accord, some vanilla, some smoky, what people also perceive as rubber, I would not consider it as a rubbery touch. shuyukh Gold is quite intricate, but the caramel here is very enjoyable. So, and it's also progressive. So if you're looking for a caramel fragrance, I'll highly recommend this. I think a lot of us have this fragrance by this time, so we can always revisit our favorites. So this is shuyukh Gold. The next one that I have here is going to be a heavy Granny Smith apple fragrance with a heavy note of caramel, and this is going to be Casablanca by Swiss Arabian. It's an oldie, and we always say an oldie but a goodie. Honestly, this is one of the best Granny Smith apple caramel fragrances I have ever come across. It's very sweet, it's very piercing, it's quite sharp. This is one of those cases where the caramel here is very sharp. It's not like shy, it is not tame, it's not playing a supporting role here. It is quite the main character, coupled with that Granny Smith apple with a hint of patchouli and a hint of that suede. Very beautiful. So I mean, who doesn't love Casablanca? I'm yet to see or hear anyone who doesn't love Casablanca, you know, but I understand anybody who does not like or love Casablanca. However, I love it personally. I layer this one, you know, with a lot of fragrances. I also wear it on its own. It's a very beautiful, piercing, sharp, you know, sort of, you know, meets you in your nose as soon as you spray sort of caramel, Granny Smith, apple fragrance. So I would highly recommend Casablanca by Swiss Arabian. And the next one I'm going to go is not going to be a Middle Eastern one. It's also a designer fragrance, but it's been on the market for a very long time. I think it's been discontinued, but you can virtually find it everywhere. This is iLLICIT, you know, caramel, praline, honey, and a host of other beautiful florals. It reminds me somehow of black opium, you know. It doesn't really smell the same, but it sort of reminds me of black opium in a way, you know. But this one is like sweeter, much more sweeter because of the caramel and the praline and that honey, you know. It's a very beautiful, airy, sweet, very ladylike, you know. A lot of people seem to love iLLICIT by CHOO, and I would highly recommend this, you know. If you find it anywhere, I would highly recommend that you pick this one up, you know. A lot of the fragrances I'm showcasing today are like less than $50, you know, 50, 30, some as low as even 20, so they are very, very affordable. The next caramel fragrance I'm going to show here is Fancy by Jessica Simpson. I think about 5, 6, 7 years ago, every single person on YouTube, you know, had this fragrance. It was like a must-have. It's still a must-have in my opinion because of that very, you know, beautiful apricot and caramel, you know, notes this one has. It's a very beautiful one, very affordable. I think you can find this for less than $30, you know, from the rack stores. A very friendly, girly, fruity. That apricot is so lovely, you know, very pronounced, and that caramel here feels slightly salted. It is beautiful, you know. I've had this bottle for over 3 years or almost 3 years now. It is beautiful, quite simple. It is very friendly. It's not anything intricate or complicated, you know. It's like an easy grab, easy, you know, everyday pick-me-up sort of fragrance, like a happy-go-lucky girl next door fragrance. I think I have to slow down. You know, a happy-go-lucky girl next door fragrance. That is how I see this one, and the caramel is quite prominent in this one. So if you have it in your collection, please revisit Fancy by Jessica Simpson. The next caramel fragrance I'm going to show here is one that I have always spoken about. This is a very piercing, sugary, sweet licorice smoky combo with caramel, and this one is Ragbah Wood Intense by Lattafa. This is super strong, you know. For a caramel scent, you wouldn't expect it to be super strong and last you like days upon days, but that is what Ragbah Wood Intense, you know, does to you or do to you. It is super heavy because of that heavy, you know, sugar. It has a note of sugar as well as caramel, and I think praline and some licorice and some smoky accord. This is so beautiful, very long lasting. It leans a tad bit masculine to me, you know. I think it's very, very, very unisex, but it doesn't come across as ultra feminine on men. That is how I should explain it. It's very unisex, but although it is caramel, it is sugar, it is sweet, it doesn't come across as, you know, ultra feminine on men at all to me. Very, very unisex fragrance. The caramel here is quite sharp, quite piercing, just like the caramel in Casablanca. They are both very sharp and piercing, so you need to be prepared for these fragrances. However, these are all very mass appealing. They last you like days upon days, you know. You don't need to even top up when you have this one on. So if you have this one already and have not put it out in a very long time, just like me, because I've had it for a long time, but I hardly pull this one, you know. And the days that I pull this one, I get spray like 3-4 maximum and I'm done, because it is ultra strong and, you know, it projects, it fills up like an entire building. So this is Ragbah Wood Intense by Lattafa. The next one I'm going to go with is going to be quite a new one, you know, and it's going to be Teriaq by Lattafa. Quentin Beach, Lattafa, an awesome collaboration. This is a very beautiful caramel scent, you know. It has like a host of notes, but one of the most prominent note I get in this one is caramel. You know, it gives me something like salted caramel, a little bit of, you know, a toffee sort of, you know, scent with that ambery leather accord, you know. It smells so much like Fancy by Jessica Simpson to me. I think I don't even want to go there because everybody smells, you know, things differently. I remember when I spoke about this and I compared it to Fancy by Jessica Simpson. I thought I was the only one who smelled that, but I was so glad when I found other people also comparing it to Fancy by Jessica Simpson, you know. So this gives me fancy, and that leathery smoky accord from Rosendo Mato number 5 or Each House You Go, the one that I spoke about, you know. It's very lovely, a very piercing caramel here. It lasts you like the whole day. This one lasts you the whole day. I love the dry down. You know, the dry down of this is so beautiful, and that is where the leather in this one shines the most. But when you initially spray it, you get like a blast or a burst of that caramel and that apricot. Very beautiful. So I'll highly recommend this. You know, I think a lot of us are either, you know, already have it or on the hunt for this particular one. So if you find it anywhere, I would say grab it because I love it that much. So that is Teriaq by Lattafa. Quentin Beach, Lattafa, amazing collaboration here. I'm looking forward to more from the two, or even Lattafa and any other, you know, renowned perfumer. I would love, I love, you know, Lattafa regardless who they collaborate with. So I'm looking forward to a lot of Lattafas and Middle Eastern, you know, fragrances in general. So the next one I have here are going to be these pair. I wouldn't consider them necessarily a pair because they are different fragrances. This is Cheriosa 62, and then we have Cheriosa 71. Of the two, 71 is my favorite, you know, and they all have the note of caramel, you know. This one is much more of macadamia caramel, you know. I love that nutty, buttery, you know, macadamia. I love macadamia, you know. The first time I tried it, it was like new to me, although it didn't taste super new to me. It tasted like something I had tasted before, although I had never, you know, tasted macadamia before. But as soon as I tasted macadamia, I was like, Cheriosa 71, like the exact same fruit, the exact same nut, you know, with that caramel, that caramelized, you know, vanilla, or I think, yes, with that caramelized vanilla. So you get a strong note of caramel in this one, and I so much enjoy this one, you know. And then comes 62, which is also a pistachio and salted caramel, you know, salted caramel here. I love both, but I prefer the 71 just a little over the 62. But nonetheless, they are all beautiful, amazing caramel heavy fragrances, you know. They are also body mist, so you can just, you know, go through them like so quickly. The next one I have here, I think Jeremy Fragrance put us all on this particular fragrance. And to be very honest, when I initially got Juicy Couture Gold Couture, I really didn't like it. That is the truth, you know. I think I got it about a year or two ago. I never really liked this fragrance until I started getting into other caramel fragrances, you know, like other caramel and honey fragrances. Then I began to really appreciate this Juicy Couture Gold. I love this, you know. Currently, if you ask me, I would say go for it. I love it. But at the time I got it, I don't know, but there was something about it which was not readily or easily appealing to me. To me, it was just like, it's okay, you know. At that instant, I was like, it's okay. It didn't really wow me, you know, but it sat in my collection for like a year. I would never even really pull for this particular one until recently. Recently, because of other caramel fragrances I've been you know, enjoying and getting to know, it's making me appreciate this particular one, you know. I think that is what happens to me sometimes. I might not like a certain note, and then I begin to get other fragrances with that note, and then, you know, it makes me sort of fall in love with the notes I thought I didn't like, you know. So that is what happened to Gold Couture by Juicy Couture for me. It wasn't a love, but now it's a love for me because I now appreciate caramel fragrances so much better, you know. Initially I wasn't that the sweet girl, that like the sweet fragrance girl, you know. I'm now trying to extend my, you know, territory or whatever, you know, to sort of embrace a whole host of, you know, no structure. So I'm appreciating this one so much better. The next one I have here, I'm going to go with Caramel Cascade by Paris Corner. I mean, what's not to love about this? From the bottle to the fragrance to the price, every single thing is on point here. I cannot complain. I would be super ungrateful if I ever complain about anything when it comes to Caramel Cascade. I love the price. I love the scent profile. I love the fact that it is not overly lactonic. I'm not so much into overly lactonic, you know, fragrances. It sort of tempts my stomach. This one doesn't do that to me, you know, although it has the note of milk, but the OG version Bianco Latte doesn't have the note of milk. And I appreciate this, you know, additional note milk, which is done so right in this one. It is done beautifully. I don't have any complaints whatsoever. I'll be super ungrateful if I ever say anything negative about this fragrance. So I'll just stop here before I say something that I do not like, because I love this fragrance, you know, I love it that much. I would highly recommend this. It's getting stronger by the day. It's getting stronger, you know. I think it's to get to a point where this particular fragrance is going to fill up a room. You know, that is not what it gave me when I initially got it. But it's, however, gaining the strength, you know, the potency. It is really thickening up. So hopefully in the near future it's going to fill up a room. So that is Caramel Cascade for you. And the next one I have here is going to be one that is it's not super talked about, you know. I grabbed this from a rag store a couple of years ago. This is going to be Commodities Magnolia. You know, it's supposed to be this sort of, you know, water lily, sort of fresh aquatic magnolia, you know, floral note with a hint of caramel. The caramel is at the base. It is a very beautiful one. It doesn't give you a quintessential caramel scent, you know. You find a caramel and a dry down, very beautifully infused with that aquatic floral, you know, magnolia, sort of, you know, water lily combo. It is beautiful. The caramel really shines through, but it's not the main character, you know. It used to be at the rag stores. I don't know if you can. I think this particular one is discontinued, but I think you can still find it on Commodities. I checked, you can still find it on Commodities website. It's a very beautiful one, like very spring appropriate, you know. I'm going to do a spring video, and I'm very sure I'm going to feature this particular fragrance in it. You know, the caramel here is like, you know, like it lingers. It's not like the main character, but it gives this fragrance the push that it needs to be, like a semi-sweet, semi-gourmand sort of, you know, fragrance. You know, it's not like the quintessential gourmand fragrance at all. It is more of an aquatic floral fragrance with a hint of, you know, sweetness, and that is the role that the caramel is playing in this one. So that would be the 10th fragrance I'm showcasing. The last one I'm going to talk about is going to be, like, you know, how do you even call it, a bonus one, you know. This particular one has never been for everyone, you know. It's never been for everyone. It is super polarizing, but it is one of the most prominent sweet sugary caramel fragrances of all time. Angel. This is so beautiful. I mean, I have used this fragrance. It's just a 30 ml, but I think I'm like halfway through this, you know. It's beautiful, very polarizing, very potent, but there are days that I fall for this fragrance. There are days that I'm like, I just need like get a spray on me to smell it, to relive that whole angel moment. I love this, you know. I was never I don't know, I never really grew up knowing about angel, alien, that kind of thing. I was introduced to this by a friend, and I fell in love, you know, from day one. He bought it for me, you know, and I've loved it since. I was like, you know what, it is polarizing. It is not for everybody, but that caramel, that patchouli, that earthy, you know, it's a very unique one, and I think by now a lot of us know where we stand when it comes to angel, either a love or a hate, and this one is a love for me with a heavy note of caramel. So let me know in the comment section. These are all affordable, you know, choices. There's nothing, I think nothing more than $50 from everything that I have shown here. Even with this one, the 30 ml goes around maybe 50 or around the $50 mark. So you can always grab any of these, you know, easily, and they are all quite accessible. And that is one thing I like about affordable fragrances. They are quite accessible. You don't need to be looking for them, you know, elsewhere. They are easily accessible. As soon as you look on one website, you go to the market, you find them. So that is all I have for you today, and I hope this video found you well. I hope I slowed down a bit, you know. I hope I'll try consciously to slow down, so that people who really do not get my African Ghanaian accent will get it eventually. So thank you so much, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.